to reply from the Noble Lord Minister.
My Lords, I rise very briefly to offer Green support for the amendments in the names of the Labour Lords Teverson and the Noble Lady Baroness Sheehan. The economic arguments of why hydrogen as a home heating mechanism makes no sense at all have already been very clearly made. I'm going to aim to not repeat anything that's been said, but simply add a couple of points to it. And I very much agree with the point made by the Noble Lady Baroness Worthington about prepayment meters. That was written in very large letters on my paper, but I've now crossed that out since it's already been covered. But I think we haven't perhaps in this debate really highlighted the degree of physical disruption. The Noble Lady Worthington referred to receiving many expressions of distress from the affected villages. I've also received those. And when you look at in the government's own terminology, research shows, quote, it will undoubtedly result in physical disruption to the property, close quote. That's the government's own words. What that actually means is you're going to have to see pipework surveyed and possibly changed, gas meters replaced, boilers, gas hobs and gas cookers replaced, as well as 4-inch ventilation holes in the area of the boiler and the appliance to make it compatible for 100% hydrogen. The biggest challenge of all, perhaps, is the small in-house pipes, which may frequently be embedded in walls or underneath floors. And if you think about the kind of disruption in perhaps an older house, just tracking those down, finding them where they are and establishing whether they're adequate for hydrogen is massively disruptive. And every home's going to have to be checked and double-checked to make sure it's safe before hydrogen can be piped into it. The other safety point that hasn't been raised yet, but I think really should be, is that burning hydrogen in the air produces nitrous oxides, which are a pollutant in their own right. There's often said that, oh, well, when you're using hydrogen, water is the only byproduct. But that's only the case when hydrogen's used in fuel cells. Nitrogen dioxide is a key air pollutant that's harmful in its own right and is a precursor to other concerning materials, including fine particulate matter and ozone. And just one final thought, which is you really do have to wonder, and I understood the Noble Lady Baroness Worthington's considered narrative of how we got to where we are, but what I notice when I go around your Lordship's house and see the people who are propounding the idea of hydrogen for home heating, it is, of course, the existing industry and the vested industry interests. And that cannot be how we decide our energy future in so many areas, but perhaps particularly obviously in this one.
My Lord.